Hi, welcome back to Makeover May. I'm Tasha Cleveland with Latitudes Gallery, and today we are going to work on Scott's room. And Scott sent us a hallway. So hallways and a stairwell, two of the hardest things to really understand how to place art. A lot of times people will do a gallery wall going up a stairwell because you're working with an angle. You've got the ceiling angled, and you've got the handlebar, the handrail to deal with. And so oftentimes people get stumped and they put a lot of little things, and the hallway can get cluttered, the stairwell can get cluttered. So let's look at sizing artwork for a stairwell. And once again, this is Scott's entry for Makeover May. If you would like your chance at winning a $1,000 gift card to Latitudes Gallery, all you have to do is submit a room view and you get a chance to win. So let's get into it. All right, so these are some images that I have selected for Scott's stairwell. I've selected images. He has requested waves or surf. So that leads me to believe that he is a surfer, and he's looking for a wave that feels like he's in the water. There's really two kinds of waves. There's the waves like this one that you see right here that has a perspective of the surfer. Now, I appreciate this since I am not a surfer. I love seeing what a surfer's world looks like. But then there's also the perspective of being on shore. So this is more of an on-shore view. The other thing that we want to look at here is what colors match his space. Now, since this is a stairwell, the colors are less important because we're really only working with the carpet, and we're working with the stair rail, the banister. We're working with the trim. So we've got some grays and whites and some beige tones on the floor. It looks like we have a little sconce here on the wall. And other than that, you kind of have free reign. There really isn't, you can't really go wrong here because it's so neutral, which is great. Now, I do love that this image has some of these darker brown tones in it, which tie into the stair rail really well. And there's a bit of a golden toned lampshade on this sconce. And I like that this image really has those colors right there in it. So this one is a very nice pairing for the color palette. Let's see what else we have here. This one is great as well. It's very neutral. It's really quite clear in color. And so this one you can't really go wrong. But the other thing I want you to think about is when you're in this space, how would you want to feel if this was your room, if this was your stairwell? How would you want to feel going up and down this stairwell? Now, we can go really neutral, like I showed you before, or you can have a pop of color, which is fun. So this blue crush is the pop of color. You can add in something really vibrant. The other reason that a stairwell is easy, it's like a hallway. You spend very little time in that space. And so it's easy to do something more fun and a little bit more vibrant and a little bit more off the wall, so to speak, in this space because it's a transitional space and you don't sit there and stare at it for long periods of time. It kind of takes a little of the pressure off. It lets you have a little more fun. It doesn't have to be perfect in a hallway or a stairwell. So if this was your space, how would you want to feel? Would you like that pop of color? Like this one also offers that pop of color, even though the carpet ties in beautifully with the foreground and the golden sky tones. This one's gorgeous in the space. Golden hour is often a beautiful pairing, especially for the gray on gray palette that a lot of people are doing. This adds just a little bit of life to the space, and it's a really easy way to do that. This image, what's kind of fun about this image is it's got that cliff that sort of mimics the experience of the stairs themselves. So that's kind of fun. Anytime you can balance or kind of bounce off what's in the image with what's in the space is a fun experience. So let's take a look. I think for this space, I am liking golden hour the best. And I really, really love this one. This one is unnamed. I don't know the name of it, which means it's hiding. It's hiding and I get to see it. Not everyone gets to see all the images, so this one's a secret. So let's take a look at how we're going to size it and how we're going to place it. So what I'm looking at here, let me try and clear that. So yeah, okay, so you can see the wall. So it looks as though where the perspective is of where he's standing is almost like a hallway going to maybe a great room or a kitchen. So you can see right here this turn of the wall, which is leading somewhere else. So what we've got is, it looks like a couple of small stairs and then a landing and then a larger flight of stairs. So a little bit and then a landing and a lot. So what I would say is, because there is a change of ceiling height here, you can see it's going from the first floor to the second floor opening. I would work within the boundaries of this ceiling change and this wall edge. And very likely what's going to look best is centering on this. But once again, just like when we were working on the last room with the TV and the angled ceiling, it's going to be a little bit tighter on one side than it is on the other, for the opposite reason, because our floor is changing instead of the ceiling changing. So it's going to be a little bit tighter over on this left side in order to fill it properly on the right side. So it's not this skinny little piece over on the right. So let's take a look at these images. This one and Golden Hour are my favorites. So I'm going to size them together and make my life easier. Let's just, all right. Golden Hour. Okay. Now it's being nice. So if I were to take this and size it for their wall and center it roughly on the distance between the ceiling change and the edge of this wall on the right-hand side, we're probably looking at something like this. Now this angle is a little bit hard for me to see, so bear with me. Somewhere around there looks right as far as perspective goes. Yeah, about there. So for now, we'll sit with that. So it looks to me like we've got about 20-ish inches on this right-hand side, and over here probably about the same, around 20 inches on either side. Let me change that just a bit. Okay, so that's looking pretty good. Let's look between the two. Now, I love both of these images in this space. I like the excitement of this one. This one's very dramatic. And Golden Hour, remember how I mentioned in this image how that angled cliff was kind of a neat element? We're getting that feeling here with this angle of the wave. So that's kind of fun. But as far as the color palette goes, ooh, these two are still my favorite. I think I like this one the best based on the color palette. So Scott would have to decide which one is the view that he would want to see the most often. And that's the most important thing to remember. I can tell you what's going to look good in your space based on the colors and the subjects and the style of the rest of the room. But the most important factor in selecting artwork is how it makes you feel. And I can't determine that. Only you can determine that. You are the one that knows that when you look at this image, in your body, you feel like you're surfing, or in your body, you feel relaxed, or in your body, you feel excited. That's something that's entirely subjective. So as far as design goes, I'm really happy with both of these images. And the rest is up to you. So Scott, I hope you enjoy the room rendering that I've created for you. I will get those on their email and on their way to you. And for everyone else who's dealing with a stairwell, keep this in mind when you're working with it. You want to focus on the landing. If there's a return or a landing, that's generally the widest space in the stairwell that you get to work with, where the elevation or the lines are not angled as much for as long. So work with the spaces that you can that are a flat ground, and see how wide you can go. Again, if the ceiling is changing heights, you're going to have to go a little bit tight on one side and a little more space on the other in order to balance it out. But if you have the luxury of a return that goes the full width of 2 sets of stairs, like most of us have, then you can go a whole lot wider and you can go a whole lot taller there. So feel free to reach out if you have any questions on styling for your space with your art selection. Once again, I'm Tasha Cleveland, and this is Latitudes Gallery Makeover May. Stay tuned all month long, and be sure to enter your room for your chance to win $1,000 in Latitudes artwork. Thanks so much.